This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 26th day of April in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley, and here's what we're tracking tonight. President Irfan Ali is in the United Kingdom pushing investment opportunities in Guyana. And today he told the Guyana Investment Seminar in London that Guyana is prime for investment as the country continues to grow as a major oil producer. The president pointed to the development of the manufacturing and the industrial sectors in the country and told the investment forum that the country is preparing to cut energy costs by half in the next 3 years to encourage investment and bolster the manufacturing and other sectors. President Ali explained that because of the oil and gas sector and the major development taking place in Guyana, it is important that the manufacturing sector thrives. He said his government will ensure cheap energy is realized to aid in that sector's development.
We have already committed that by 2025, the cost of energy must be reduced by 50%. And by doing that, it will put Guyana on equal footing to compete with other countries where manufacturing and industrial development plays a vital role.
The president said the cut in energy will be realized through the hydro and natural gas projects. He told the potential UK investors that the development trajectory of his administration will ensure that citizens of the country also benefit from the oil wealth and the various forms of development taking place.
That is the only way the country can progress. If all the people of the country have access to facilities that will help to uplift their lives. So whether you're from the hinterland or you're an indigenous Guyanese, or you're from the town or the urban center, the investment will be made for all Guyanese to benefit from these facilities.
On the issue of transformation, President Ali told the forum that Guyana is currently undergoing an enormous transformation in several areas. He said the country is open to investors from the United Kingdom and every other country. But in those investments, the Guyanese people must be the center.
The overall development agenda is to see prosperity for every single Guyanese citizen. It's to see every single Guyanese citizen having the best possible access to important services like housing, health, education.
The president said while the interest shown by the UK private sector over the years has been low, the stage is now set for massive investment from the United Kingdom and its companies in Guyana. Today's seminar in London was organized by the Caribbean Council. More news coming up in just a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
The Ministry of Education is making a significant investment in the education system to distribute textbooks to every primary school pupil to support them at school and at home. So students and parents, please take good care of the textbooks loaned to you and remember to return them at the end of the school year so that the next batch of students can use them. Before collecting the textbooks, parents will sign a contract promising to ensure the books are kept in good condition and to return them. Parents will be required to pay the cost to replace or repair any of the lost or damaged books. So let's do the right thing and use the books wisely so that as many students can benefit across Guyana. A message from the Ministry of Education.
Live your fantasy at Fantasy Gaming Lounge. Win big daily. Millions in cash prizes every week. Now located at Giftland Mall, Fantasy Gaming Lounge, the best bet in town.
flavor, food, fun. It's back! GMSA's Uncapped Marketplace returns this month with the full support of GTT via MMG and Business Solutions. Come join us for the Agro Processors Exhibition and Food Festival. Enjoy a range of local products made, mixed and blended to perfection. Check out the food court, games and other exciting attractions. It's all happening on April 30 and May 1 from 10 hours at the Guyana National Stadium. Admission absolutely free.
Individuals are reminded that when filing an individual income tax return, if you have multiple employers, you must file only one individual income tax return. However, the original of each emolument 7B slip obtained from the respective employers must be attached to the return, and the aggregated income should be used to compute your taxes. Remember, only one individual income tax return must be submitted to the Guyana Revenue Authority for individuals with multiple employers.
All 12 ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get your
color.
Buster $100. Come get your Buster $100.
Welcome back. The ExxonMobil company this afternoon announced a triple discovery of oil offshore Guyana on the Stabroek Block, which has now pushed the estimated discovery on that Stabroek Block to nearly 11 billion barrels. In a statement, the company said that the three discoveries are southeast of the Liza and Payara developments and bring to 5 the discoveries made by the ExxonMobil company in Guyana so far this year. The Barrel I-1 well encountered approximately 230 feet of hydrocarbon-bearing sandstone, while drilling at the Patwa-1 encountered 108 feet of hydrocarbon-bearing sandstone, and the Lukanani-1 well encountered 115 feet of hydrocarbon-bearing sandstone. According to the company, operations are ongoing at Barrel I-1 and Lukanani-1. In a statement, the president of ExxonMobil upstream company, Leah Mallon, said the new discoveries and the updated resource estimate increase the confidence that the company has in its ambitious exploration strategy for the Stabroek Block, and will also help to inform the future development for the southeast part of the block. He added that the ExxonMobil company remains committed to delivering value at an accelerated pace to the people of Guyana and its partners and shareholders, and reliably supply affordable energy to meet increasing demand around the world. ExxonMobil Guyana President Alistair Rutledge made similar views.
It's a truly remarkable story, and it adds to the now we believe nearly 11 billion oil equivalent barrels of resource discovered in the Stabroek Block. That's a huge number. It supports the chain of projects that we're bringing forward. It takes time for us to mature the resource into these projects, but the discovery process is continuing to happen. These projects will ultimately bring huge benefits to the country of Guyana.
The ExxonMobil company currently has 4 sanctioned projects offshore Guyana. Liza Phase 1 is producing approximately 130,000 barrels of oil per day using the Liza Destiny floating production storage and offloading vessel. Liza Phase 2, which started production in February, is steadily ramping up to its capacity of 220,000 barrels of oil per day using the Liza Unity FPSO. The third project, Payara, is expected to produce 220,000 barrels of oil per day, with construction in its production vessel, the Prosperity FPSO, running approximately 5 months ahead of schedule. The fourth project, Yellowtail, is expected to produce 250,000 barrels of oil per day when the One Guyana FPSO comes online in 2025. In a statement this afternoon, the government of Guyana welcomed the new discoveries. Natural Resources Minister Vikram Barrett said the new discoveries add to Guyana's growing legacy as an oil-producing and exporting nation with medium sweet crude, which will catalyze the One Guyana goal of enhanced infrastructure, world-class healthcare and education, realizing a higher standard of living and better quality of life for the people of Guyana. He added that the government of Guyana remains vigilant and committed to ensuring the benefits of Guyana's petroleum resources benefit all Guyanese and paving the way for a thriving future for generations ahead. Prime Minister Mark Phillips opened a new private shore-based facility today which will service the oil and gas sector. In welcoming another major investment in the country's growing economy, Prime Minister Phillips said the government is pushing to ensure more Guyanese also benefit from Guyana's successes.
An inclusion of a country's people are imperative not only for the country's development, but for the social and economic betterment of its citizens. Immediately recognizing the value of securing the rights for local content within Guyana's oil and gas industry, my government, at the beginning of this year, signed into law the Local Content Bill that gives priority to Guyanese nationals and companies to procure goods and services and for employment. I reiterate His Excellency President Ali's commitment that the bill is only the beginning of a great journey for Guyana, as these developments will undoubtedly bring more positive outcomes for the country, its economy, and by extension, its people.
The new shore-based facility, TECNIP FMC, is located at Magdum on the east bank of the Marara. It will provide equipment and services to the ExxonMobil offshore operations. The Prime Minister praised the new company for its use of a Guyanese workforce throughout its construction process and now with its operations.
Consider the simple example of the construction of this facility, its impressive design with the involvement of a local company with supervision by TECNIP FM team. This is a commendable achievement that increases the competitiveness of that company and gives it a winning chance at success in its future endeavors. These are the partnerships that will help to propel our citizens to prosperity as our country develops.
The president of the new company, TECNIP FMC, John Landers, said that the company continues to recruit and train Guyanese. Government officials and officials of the ExxonMobil company were on hand for the opening of the new facility. The ExxonMobil company has explained that since oil was first discovered in Guyana 7 years ago, the industry has grown continuously, with investments by Exxon alone approaching $30 billion. Let's tell you now that leader of the opposition and PNC Reform leader Aubrey Norton today called on the president to stop dilly-dallying and begin the process to address consultations that would lead the way to various constitutional appointments. During a press briefing this morning, the opposition leader said he remains ready to engage the president and consult on the constitutional matters and appointments. He said it is up to the president when those talks will begin.
It is now up to the president to stop the protracted dilly-dallying and fulfill his own constitutional responsibilities. Any further misinterpretation of my position or any further fighting of windmills can only be seen as malevolent.
Mr. Norton also dismissed contentions by former Speaker and former presidential candidate for a new and united Guyana, Ralph Ramkaran, that many of the issues that he, Norton, might want to raise at the meeting should be dealt with at the parliamentary level. The opposition leader said all of the issues could be addressed, even if separately. Mr. Norton also said the other issues outside of appointments must be addressed, especially issues related to the poor and law and order and management of the country's affairs.
The appointment of a few judges and commissioners, as important as they are, cannot, however, even begin to save this country from its headlong fall into the escalating crisis in governance, in democracy and governance under the PPP government, which is hell-bent, propelled by its arrogance and sense of entitlement on entrenching an oligarchy, government by a few, a kleptocracy, a government characterized by rampant greed and corruption, and a plutocracy, a government by and for the wealthy in Guyana. There must be a place for the poor so that they can benefit from our national patrimony.
Last week, President Irfaan Ali said he will be dispatching an invitation to meet with the opposition leader soon. The president intends for the meeting to focus on the appointment of a substantive commissioner of police and other related matters. Since taking office 2 years ago, the president has held no consultations with the main political opposition. Some tragic news to report now. A 56-year-old man from Covaden on the east bank of the Marara lost his life this morning when he was mowed down by a motor lorry along the Bagatstang Public Road on the east bank of the Marara. Police identified the dead man as Mohan Tulsi. A report of the incident said Tulsi exited a parked pickup on the eastern carriageway of the 4-lane road and jumped over the medium to get to the western carriageway when he ended up in the pathway of the motor lorry. The driver reportedly applied brakes to avoid a collision, but due to the short distance, the motor lorry collided with the man. Mohan Tulsi received injuries about his body and was pronounced dead at the scene by the emergency medical technicians, who were summoned to the scene just after the incident. The police in their statement said a breathalyzer test was conducted on the driver of the motor lorry and no trace of alcohol was detected. The 25-year-old driver was taken into custody to assist with the investigations. This evening, a search is on the way in the Turaparu Back Dam in the Lower Puruni River area in Region 7, where a young miner has been missing for the past 10 days. In a statement today, the Guyana Police Force announced that it is investigating the disappearance of 27-year-old miner Noel Anthony Fredericks. The man, who's originally from Mainstay Village Essequibo, was last seen on the 15th of April, leaving a shop in an intoxicated state while in the company of another man. The Guyana Police Force said the missing miner, who was Amerindian, was last seen clad in a pair of blue jeans and a white shirt. He has long black hair and is medium in build and fair in complexion. Police investigators in the area have been backed up with additional ranks in search of the missing miner. A full investigation and search are on the way. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of the missing man is asked to contact the nearest police station or call 911. Just 4 months after leader of the People's National Congress Reform Aubrey Norton appointed senior party member Dr. Richard Van West Charles as his advisor, a rift is appearing between the two leaders. Today, Mr. Norton responded to a letter from Dr. Van West Charles indicating his decision to withdraw from the position of advisor to the PNC leader. Responding to questions on the issue today, Mr. Norton said his advisor was pushing for him to begin engagements with the governing party, even before the executive of the PNC reform comes up with a position.
All I would say to the press at this stage about Mr. Van West Charles' comments, and this is before I discuss it with the party, Mr. Van West Charles has been pushing for me to engage the People's Progressive Party through him. And I made it clear to him that I cannot engage the People's Progressive Party without a decision of the Central Executive.
The Central Executive Committee of the party is expected to meet this evening, where it will discuss Dr. Van West Charles' letter. The PNC reform leader did not say Dr. Van West Charles will continue to serve in the position of his advisor, but he said he would not allow himself to be used for the gains of others.
All the claims, I think, are ridiculous, but there's nothing I can do when people mismanage their own personal life and want to use me as a scapegoat.
Dr. Richard Van West Charles has claimed that the new PNC reform leader has been making decisions on his own without the Central Executive Committee getting a say in the matter. He has also complained about the need for more regular meetings of the Central Executive Committee. But Mr. Norton has said that since he has taken over as party leader, the Central Executive Committee has been meeting at least twice every month.
friend. Watch Guyanese girl, them a hurtle, and them a do it in a circle. Watch me, missing each and every year. Flashback come again. Tell it to your enemy and tell it to your friend. Well, if you're ready for the party, yeah then. Flashback, tell them a the trend. All I'm missing. This are not anti-butterfly nor no bees. No girl can whine like Guyanese. Watch the young them a do it in a circle. Guyanese girls them a dance in a circle. Hear me and say no, I'm a banter. You know I some boy killer I represent. The Golden Smile family. You know say flashback old school party. You know say oh the vibes is plenty. Slow down.
Live your fantasy at Fantasy Gaming Lounge. Win big daily. Millions in cash prizes every week. Now located at Giftland Mall, Fantasy Gaming Lounge, the best bet in town.
The Ministry of Education is making a significant investment in the education system to distribute textbooks to every primary school pupil to support them at school and at home. So students and parents, please take good care of the textbooks loaned to you and remember to return them at the end of the school year so that the next batch of students can use them. Before collecting the textbooks, parents will sign a contract promising to ensure the books are kept in good condition and to return them. Parents will be required to pay the cost to replace or repair any of the lost or damaged books. So let's do the right thing and use the books wisely so that as many students can benefit across Guyana. A message from the Ministry of Education.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, let's begin in St. Kitts and Nevis, where a motion of no confidence has been filed against the Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, whose coalition team Unity government is facing an uphill task in keeping its majority in the parliament. Informed sources told the Caribbean Media Corporation that the motion was filed on Monday and follows efforts by factions within the government that was re-elected to office in 2022 to heal the rift. Last week, 7 legislators linked to the government wrote to the Governor General indicating that the Prime Minister does not command the support of the majority of elected members in the National Assembly. But the head of state has responded, indicating that he is awaiting formal advice on the situation and will revert to them at the earliest time. The Prime Minister has himself called for the population to be aware of certain misgivings in the public domain with respect to the issues raised by the Team Unity partners. The coalition comprises Harris's People's Labour Party, the People's Action Movement, and the Concerned Citizens Movement. The Labour Party controls 2 of the 9 seats in the coalition government, with the 2 other seats in the National Assembly belonging to the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party. Authorities in Jamaica have appealed to Barbados' Minister of Education, Kay McConney, in her capacity as the chairman of the CARICOM Council for Human and Social Development, for an urgent meeting in a final bid to get the Caribbean Examination Council to postpone this year's examinations. McConney's Jamaican counterpart, Favour Williams, said she sent correspondence last Friday seeking the meeting after several appeals to CXC to delay the exams since January went unheeded. It also came a day after a CXC official told Barbados Today that the regional examination body had no intention of changing the examination schedule. The Jamaican officials are insisting that the region's students need more time to prepare, given the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on teaching and preparation across the region. One official said while CXC has indicated that if students are not ready this year, they can defer next year, they do not believe that that is the only option that should be available to the region's children. And finally tonight, international news. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un made a defiant speech at a military parade on Monday night, vowing to ramp up the country's nuclear arsenal. The parade to mark the armed forces' founding anniversary also displayed banned intercontinental ballistic missiles. Back in March, North Korea tested its largest known intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time since 2017. It sparked wide condemnation from the international community. The US also imposed several sanctions on the country after the test. The intercontinental ballistic missiles are designed for nuclear arms delivery, extend North Korea's strike range as far as the US mainland. The parade also featured submarine-launched ballistic missiles in addition to hypersonic missiles. However, Mr. Kim has been undeterred by the condemnation from the international community. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.